Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hello, welcome to Konnect, where we're filming live here in Metro Atlanta. We're glad you decided to join us. I'm Gabrielle.
And I'm Sheila.
I'm Latrice.
And I'm LaFay. Welcome to Konnect.
Well, again, welcome. We're glad you're here. And today we'll be discussing unleashing the weight that so many of us carry around with us. And under that would be what is weight? Where does it originate? The mental health state that it puts us in, and stopping the facade and pretense. Are you ladies ready?
Let's get it.
All right, then. So one of the things that's weighed heavily on me that we are seeing a lot of, even from our younger generation, in this social media age, is suicide. Thank you, because I just lost my thought for a minute. And so one of the things that's been sticking with me is that suicide has become so rampant. And I know we've recently, or we're still in and going through the pandemic, and that's weighing on so many people. But I think there are other things that are contributing to it as well. So today I want to kind of get into that a little bit, and the weight that we sometimes carry that we don't have to, and what weight really is for so many of us. And so defining weight first of all, and how would you guys define that if we're talking about weight and the things that seem to weigh us down?
Well, one of the definitions of weight is heaviness.
Mm-hmm.
And I liken it to somebody who says, I feel like I have bricks on my shoulders, or,
Mm-hmm.
I have a weight on me. It's something that holds us down,
Right.
or holds us back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Here I go. But this is the thing that the Lord really spoke to me about, is when I started to think about it. And I haven't even searched it out, but it's in Daniel. And it says, you have weighed on the scales and found deficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
Well,
being
Well,
deficient.
being deficient.
Being deficient in areas of your life.
Right. Okay.
I like
That
that.
causes something else to happen.
Right.
You know, when you go to the doctor or whatever, and they say you have a deficiency of calcium,
Mm-hmm.
then that affects your bones.
Right.
Yes.
You know, if you have a deficiency of whatever, you have a deficiency of love, so you have hate in your heart.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we've weighed in that area. We've been weighed in that area.
Right,
It's
right.
causing the scales to be tipped
Right.
one way,
one side.
one side. You know, and
Right.
so which causes suicidal,
Right.
these suicidal thoughts that come
Right.
when you deficiency in some areas of your life. Suicide. You know, she don't love me.
Right.
Finances.
Yes.
So many things.
So
Yes.
many things
Yes.
that cause us to have suicidal
Yes,
thoughts. And
yes.
you can think you are right in your mind and have a suicidal thought.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can. Yes, you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Living your best life, as we like to say.
And having a
And
suicide
have
thought.
suicidal thoughts.
Suicidal thoughts.
Well, I just think Sheila kind of summed it up. I love that definition about a deficiency, because the pandemic has really caused us a deficiency with being able not to see people,
Mm-hmm.
not to be able to,
Connection.
the connection, not being able to touch,
Right.
not being able to, just go out and do like we would normally do.
Right,
Because
right.
the pandemic put a stop to saying, well, you can't go here. You
Right.
can't do this. You can't see grandma.
Right.
You can't see auntie.
Right.
You can't see mom.
Right.
You
right.
can't fly on an airplane without a mask. And so even the mask situation is coming
Right,
in,
right.
because we're not used to that. We're used to being able to breathe the fresh air, being able to touch. So I really, be free, I like that definition, and that's what I think, like when she said the deficiency.
Right.
Oh God.
Right.
Oh, my God.
The
That
lack of,
deficiency,
yes.
the
The
lack of.
lack of.
Yeah, they did. They hit a different spot.
lack of-
And I never saw that when I was, oh my God.
Yeah,
The
I
lack
like
of.
that. The lack
And so I
of.
think if we're putting the deficiency in there and talking about the lack of, those are the things that are causing us to be bogged down
And waited.
and weighted. And most of those things are the cares of the world that are bogging us down and causing us to worry. And part of that worry or that weight that we are carrying around is causing all this other issue, the other issues that we are seeing.
Yes.
I remember, or we hear all the time where people say, well, dang, if you're feeling suicidal or if you this, there are 800 numbers to reach out to. There are people to call to get help. But what I'm feeling, y'all, is that there is a place that's so dark where you
Yes.
can't reach out.
Yeah.
And so a conversation I was having with a young lady, I'm just all in all about it because I've had like 3 calls over the last month where people were in suicidal states. And so I'm saying, when I'm talking to them, I'm hearing this, that there's a place where people are having a hard time
Yes.
reaching out. If it was that simple, then everybody would do it.
Right.
And so I'm struggling with, how do we get past that
Yes.
to reach those people that are finding themselves in this place? And one young lady said to me, I don't even know where it's coming from. Some days I'm okay and some days it just kind of overtakes me. And my thing to her was, while you're able to recognize it and you know you need help, get it.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously is a place where they can't reach.
The young lady said, I don't know where it's coming from. Something triggered her. She just doesn't know why. So you telling her, while you know it's a problem, get help, that's the place that can help us
Right.
to identify what triggered me. I don't know what
Yes.
I just know I started feeling like it.
Yeah.
But it's a place, it's something could have happened. Something could have been said. She could have saw something on social media.
Right.
She could have read something. And
Right.
it could have triggered. You know,
Right.
so
Yes.
I love what you said, while you know there is.
Why you
Even
know.
if you know where it comes from. You don't even have to know. Just know I got a problem.
Right,
When we
yeah.
go get some help, they'll help us to dig in.
That's what we say.
You know,
Yes.
to see what happened.
Yes. Because there seems to be so much, and like we were saying before, you're dealing with COVID and loved ones.
Yes.
So many deaths we've already seen.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
On top of whatever else we were already dealing with.
Yes.
Now this has been a part of our life. Y'all know it's been 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's been
God.
2 years.
We're going in our 3rd year.
Yes. And so people are waiting. And when I see this and the young people that I'm seeing, that our first thing is, what could be so whatever for them? But
They're young.
because they're young, but we got to recognize that this is a problem and we've got to figure out, how do we deal with the weight that people are dealing with, even adults, because I've talked to adults too,
Right.
and they're dealing with some of these weights as well. And I wanted to get into, first of all, some of the things, examples of some of the things that cause the weight, and then getting into the mental health of these weights that we are carrying as people, okay? And so when we start talking about the mental health, then what it does is it strips us of our peace.
Yes.
And if you don't have peace and you're always in turmoil and you feel like there's no hope and there's nowhere to go, this begins to contribute to our mental health.
Yes.
So again, I hear a lot now of therapy and prayer. Therapy and Jesus, boo, because we always been told, you just go
Jesus
pray
alone.
about it.
Pray about it. Pray about it.
But now we're hearing, you need a little therapy
Yeah.
and you need a lot of Jesus. But you
Yeah.
need them both. Why can't we,
Have both.
make this not be so taboo
Yeah.
amongst us, that get the help that you need?
Even the Bible says that there is safety in the multitude of counsel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So right there for me is our place to advocate and say, yes, I'm going to talk to Jesus.
Right.
Yes, I'm going to pray.
Right.
But I'm going to let Jesus lead me to the person who is going to help me to go further.
Yes.
What they say, everything God made is good.
Yes.
Everything He made was good. A therapist is good.
It's good.
It's good when you need it. You know, a therapist is good. We go to the doctor when we need it, when we get
Hello.
sick. We'll go to, when we get pregnant, we'll go to the OBGYN.
Yes.
When our baby gets sick, we'll take them to the pediatrician.
Right. Right.
If I told her, we'll go to the podiatrist.
Yeah.
So if our mind is not right, why not
Come
go to the
on,
therapist?
let's go get some
This is
help.
one of the things that we have to dig out in our own selves, because you guys know I'm probably the oldest one sitting here, but growing up in our household as a culture, it was
Yes.
taught to us what's
Absolutely.
in the house stays in the house.
Yeah.
So that's why, that's why you said, don't you tell nobody, don't you tell nobody.
Right,
that happened.
right.
Uh-huh.
So you're gonna go and sit and
Yeah.
open up and tell somebody that he hurt me, she hurt me. That was literally
I'm
a
carrying
no. You
you.
Yes.
can't even tell your neighbor
No.
in fear of what your parents or would do.
Yeah.
But it's a new day.
It's a whole new
Yeah.
day. And then the other thing too is to jump in on that and chime is, baby, we just talking to the wrong people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
We're talking to the wrong people. We're not talking to those that can help us. Help move us forward. So I think that's the key, is that who are you talking
Who
to?
you talking to?
Who can move you forward.
And they add more weight to us.
And they add
Yeah.
more
When you get
weight.
to girl race, you like, girl, I really, and girl, no, we don't, when you're in this type of place where you're suicidal and you got some real mental issues going on that are deeper than what can be seen on the surface, that's not what we need.
No.
We need
Right.
somebody who's gonna, like you said, we need the right person
Right.
to move us forward.
To move us
Yes.
forward.
Yeah.
And not be having conversations that do us no good. Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
They're empty conversations.
Yeah.
And so some of the weight that we carry is trying to be who others think we should be.
Who we should be, yeah.
I think especially with a lot of the younger people and the older people now, but on social media, we present this life
Oh my God.
that's not even our life.
Right.
And then you
Right.
find yourself trying to live up to something that you've showed people that you said is you, but it really is not even
It's not you.
And now you're carrying the weight of trying to live up to something that's been false the whole time anyway.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine being in that place, because in my mind, that's way too much weight to
Yeah.
be carrying. So now I gotta live a facade
Yeah.
24/7
Yes.
because I'm trying to get you to think I'm something that I'm not.
Right.
And I think that's way too much. I think that it's so much pretense.
Yeah.
And I think that's pushing us further back, and we're looking at what we think everybody else has,
Yeah.
and they really don't have it.
I think social media has came on the scene, and they have made it to where, these young people get on there and tell all their business. All their business. You can go to Snapchat, they taking pictures of what they eating. You can go to Instagram, they telling about their boyfriend I broke up with her. Then you get on Facebook, they got a whole paragraph telling about how mama done kicked them out and everything. Honey, you got so many issues. Where do you want us to start? Because you all on this platform
Are the ones.
telling your business. And I think that's what has made the young people so suicidal, because you put your business out there to people that cannot help you, and they make remarks or they make comments and suggestions. And when they do, and then sometimes you get people that'll come back and tell you, well, the reason why your man couldn't take you to dinner because he was with me.
It's also much going on.
So then you get heartbroken.
Now you're embarrassed.
And you're embarrassed and ashamed.
But it's just too much weight.
In public. It's just too much.
It's too much weight. I think it's too much weight. And I think even as adults, we've fallen prey to that.
Yes.
Where we're judged by our material things.
Yes.
And I think that is so not the ruler to judge who we are by.
Yeah.
And so if I'm pretending to be this, our leaders are horrible about it sometimes. I'm a leader, so I got everything together, and I'm presenting this. But now we've had leaders that have taken their lives because you're not. Be true to who you are.
Yes.
Know who that is for one, and let's live according to that. It just bothers me to see all this going on and understand that there is a way out. Because one thing about it. And I say it all the time, that this is not a preacher show, Trixie. But that the Bible, you say, well, how do we lay aside the weight?
Yeah.
Can we lay aside the weight? Well, it plainly tells us to lay aside every weight.
Every way.
Then it says, and sin. So I ain't talking about the sin, I'm just talking about the weight.
The weight.
And sin are two different things.
They're two different things. So I'm talking about the weight that so easily it says besets you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that so easily gets you off track, that gets you distracted, or the meaning for that. But that it would not tell us to do that if we weren't capable of doing it.
Yeah.
And so that is where I'm wanting to go with that. Okay, so now we're living in a facade. We're pretending we're somebody that we're not. We're pretending that I'm so sick of people getting LLCs. I'm about to fall over and faint. And then saying I have a business because I went and got the paper to say I got an LLC. Well, I'm sorry. We was talking the other day, and I was like, if you go, I love Shark Tank. Any of y'all watch Shark Tank?
Yes.
And they come on there and they're trying to get the money to make a deal. And they'll say to you, honey, you have a hobby, not a business.
Yeah.
You gotta work to get that baby to be a business.
Yeah.
Now, in the meantime, you just got a hobby. And that's okay that you got a hobby. I'm just saying, but if you want it to be a full-fledged business, you gotta put in the work. Just going and getting the paper that say I got my LLC and posting, that means absolutely. I'm so sick of it, it means absolutely nothing to me. Let's put the work in
And make it
and so you can get the benefits of it being a full business. But when I tell you, that's the thing now, is that I got my own LLC, I got my own business, I'm an entrepreneur. All of us are not entrepreneurs. Unfortunately, we're not. And it's all okay because it's a whole different beast. Trust me, a whole different beast. And so, all of that to me, all those things are facades to me. And it presents you in a way that you really shouldn't be presenting yourself. And so we need to learn how to pull all that back in.
Yes.
And say, okay, now where do we go from here? How do I, moving on, how do I lay aside those weights?
Yes.
How do I say, I'm done with that because it's too heavy for me, what everybody thinks of me. I was sharing with somebody, and some of you know that there was a time when we moved up here and the job that Chris had laid them off. And so we were staying in an efficiency for 7 months. And we were running woman to woman, full force.
Yes.
And I had to have moved in an efficiency. And only a few of y'all knew because they would come by and pick me up because I ain't driving nowhere. They come by there and get me, so they knew. But I had to keep it moving.
Yes.
In the middle of what was not an ideal situation for me. But I wasn't pretending to be something that I wasn't.
Right.
This is where I am. This is what it is. And this is what we're going to deal with right now.
Learn to work
You learn to do what you got to do where you are.
Yes.
And as time comes for you to expand and move on, that'll come around to you. But how do we, for me, it's been lately, I don't even pick up the weight because first of all, somebody posted a picture that said, everybody that helps you take care of all your business, pay your business in this room, and it was a whole empty room. So you're worried about people
Yes.
that don't do anything
They don't
for
do
you.
anything for you.
So how do we teach people to lay aside weight that is so heavy that they think they have no choice but to take their own life?
So I think, in the last episode we talked about the process. Some people are carrying weights. First they need to identify them. Because how can we help them get rid of the weight or to release the weight? If they can't pinpoint it. They can't identify and say, okay, this is the thing. I'm carrying this weight of trying to be, the superstar, the social media influencer, whatever it is, and then pinpointing why. Because when you know why, then you can change it. Because if you know that you're doing it and it's not because this is what I'm supposed to be doing, this is what I'm called to be doing, this is what, I'm good at, this the business I'm supposed to run. When you know, hey, you know what, that's not my lane. Yeah. Then you can start making a decision to say, okay, let me go back.
You gotta dial something back. You gotta dial back.
See what I'm actually supposed to be doing.
Right.
What I'm really gifted and anointed to do for real. And then we gotta get over the shame factor and the embarrassment factor because, I'm out there now. I've been doing it.
Baby, come on back in. No.
Let me tell you something, baby. Who do you know better?
No.
What do you know about yourself? Because
No.
if you don't know about yourself, it does not even matter what other people know. So we have to start at the beginning.
Right.
That's where the weight,
They gotta identify the weight, whatever the weight is.
Whatever it is and what's
Whatever
causing
it
it,
is.
and
Whatever
stop being pretense.
It can be comparison. It can be what mama them saying.
I just want people to think like, cause like I want to be known as the perfect wife.
Yeah.
Or, the perfect family. Like we got it all together. That one's at the top of the list. Come on now,
And
Sheila, you
the
think?
thing too is that we as women, we wear so many hats and we wear so many, and it's okay because if that's who you are, and we are sometimes in that season of this person, that season. But I think where it becomes so wrong is that we allow other people to put the hats on us that, or it becomes suicidal to us because now, because I allowed you to put the hat on me, then I don't know how it's supposed to feel.
Yeah.
I don't know
How to wear, how to carry it,
or
how to carry it.
because it is too heavy.
For me.
Because I was not designed to.
It wasn't
carry
assigned
in
to
the first
you.
place. And the cost is too heavy.
Right.
The cost
If
is
it's
too
gonna cost my
heavy.
life.
Yes, and that's what we have to realize that, you know, we have to take the weight off. We have to, but I think it's like when you said the shame, the embarrassment and all of that, when it becomes so much, too much for us to bear, and our shoulders was only designed to carry so much. But we, because of shame, I want Gabrielle to think I'm this type of person.
Right.
Latrice to think
Well,
I'm
here's
this
the
person.
thing.
All of them got together.
Yeah,
Please.
it's just too much.
Well, here's the thing. I've always said, don't be pretending for me. I'm not God.
Baby,
Yes.
that's what I'm
Because
saying.
you know, I think I used to say when we get together all the time, if you was a lie when you came in this room and you ain't straight up God, just keep
You
telling
still
lies,
lie.
like you still lying.
Yeah.
Don't let no need you change it because you sitting in front of me. You are
That's
who you
right.
are.
You are.
And the person that you need to be changing for is not me.
That's right.
You know, and
That's
like you're
right.
saying, putting on the hat and carry it, you don't know how to carry it, and the facade of it, the pretense of it, you know you're pretending, you know you're not that because it bothers you ignite.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Some of us
You gotta
involved
figure out how you gotta figure out what chat I gotta
And-
put on because I gotta remember who I'm talking
and
about.
we
Who I'm talking, that's it.
We care. We
That's
care.
it. Because we got a different hat for each person. each situation. And so it gets so, you know,
It's too
it gets too
much.
much. You know, you think about these young people and they taking their lives and we seeing all these, now it's coming, suicide is really becoming prevalent because now we have all of these rich
It's
children
yes.
taking their lives when you think they have it all.
And so we learned that it's not
in
everybody's on
money.
the grind to get the money, but it's not about the
No.
money, you know, and we have to learn that and we've got to be teaching it. And so like I said, to see this, it's been disheartening for me
Yes.
to watch it and trying to figure out, okay, where do we get in here? How do we help? And then taking on so much, like you're not, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Like you're not running one business. How you got 10? How you got 20? How you got 30? How you got? I'm trying to figure this out. Like, you know, so come on, figure out what your place is and hone in on that skill.
Yes.
And make it count for you. And then if you want to add something, okay, but come on, let's make something worth your time and stop trying to pretend like you have what you don't have. And I'm just so over it.
Because you know, it's like everyone know my son passed. And I got a thing called Robert's voice.
Right.
The Lord is not spoke to me on how to do Robert's voice.
Right.
Robert's been dead for going on, it'll be 4 years this year. Well, the Lord hasn't spoke to me about how to bring about Robert's voice. I know the name, I know that, but I'm not out there moving it.
Right.
You know, I'm waiting to hear from God for, you know, I know what my son stood for, I knew what he wanted. I've kind of got a little glimpse of this here, a little glimpse of that, but he hasn't put the whole picture together, and it's been 4 years.
Right.
Well, I've seen people who had children that passed, they done opened
Right
up
away.
right away. They got their foundation going and running, and it's easy. I'm talking about me, y'all.
But no, it is.
It's easy to get caught up in my own self saying, why can't I get Robert's voice on?
Right.
You know, what am I doing wrong? Well,
Right.
maybe it's not, I'm not doing nothing wrong. Maybe
Right.
God just saying this is not
That's
the
not
season.
Yes.
It's not the
And
time.
that's what I'm saying, because otherwise you're spinning your wheels
Yes.
and you're wasting time in a
Yes.
season that's not even yours. And not that it's not guaranteed to be yours, and not that it's not coming, it's just not right now.
Not right
and
now.
nothing bothers me more than to see all this stuff and none of it's really flourishing.
None of it's
So you have to dial it and then look at it and say, okay, what am I doing, or what do I need to do, or how do I? So that's an excellent example.
You know, so because I'm waiting, and then at one time I'm like, I'm not honoring my son. And then, like you said, she looked that hat, putting on that hat, telling everybody, yeah, I'm getting ready to get it started. Even had started having meetings. And then the Lord was like, stop.
Set it down.
I haven't not told you anything. I've given you the name. I haven't even given you really the purpose and the mission yet.
Right.
You know, I know what you saying you want it to be, but you haven't really heard me of what I'm saying.
Right.
So wait in my time. And so I had to just close it down. And you know, and I said, okay, God, I'm waiting. And like I said, bits and pieces. But at one time, I was just destitute because I was just trying to. I gotta get it going. I gotta make it happen. I gotta fix it. I gotta get it going.
Right.
And now I'm resting in it, and little things are coming to me a little bit by little.
Right.
And so when it comes to pass, it'll come to pass.
Right.
And so that in the right time for the right people.
For the right people.
So that could have been a whole. You could have jumped out there, started this whole thing.
Yes.
And then it would end up being a weight instead of a blessing because you out of season for it. And I think sometimes we don't understand when those frustrations and things come that a lot of times we're operating out of season, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to go there. It just we're there at the wrong time. And so I know some people get really frustrated with me because I take a seat in a minute and be like, until I hear.
Yeah.
And get some clarity and know I'm sitting right here. I don't care how many phone calls I get telling me, come on, let's do this. I don't care how many texts I get, how many emails, and I get all of that. But until I know that it's time, I'm going to sit my little behind
and that's
right here.
what I had to learn to do. You know, just sit and wait. You know, and then to allow more healing. You know, how can I get out there to do Robert Boy and I'm all emotional crying? I can't tell nobody what to do. While I'm trying to help the people, I'm going out crying with the families. So let me get healed from it.
Right.
Let me heal, because you know that's devastating.
Right.
Let me deal with my son's passing. Let me get strong enough to go out there and do certain things.
Right.
And before I get out there, start to start about that, y'all trying to talk to me and I'm crying. I'm so much stuck in a corner crying.
We have to.
You know, like you said, because there's wisdom. There's wisdom in the house. There's oil in the house of the wise.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, there is oil in the house of the wise. So, you know, we have to be wise women.
Right.
We have to be wise
Right.
women.
Right.
And the thing is that to help somebody that's suicidal, you know, all of us have missed it. You know, there's always been somebody in our life that called us and texted us, and we missed that. We missed, you know, the sign that they gave us, but God don't let us miss it now. It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too big. You know, it's too big, and it's so much, and there's so many people that, you know, in our life we think, well, what do you have to be suicidal about? But we don't know the whole story.
Right.
And so it is so prevalent.
Right, it is. And that's what's been ruffling my feathers. Like, okay, where do we get in on this? What do we say? What do we do? How do we say it? How do we do it? And we can't be pretending ourselves. Like we got all this stuff together and we don't. Because you can't help
you don't
somebody.
want to come, when you're suicidal, you don't want to come to a perfect person to talk to because you got it all together. So you don't want to hear mine. So why not come to someone that said we don't have it all together, but we're here for you. We'll listen to you. We'll love you back to life. We'll hear your cry. We'll do what we can. We'll get you the help you need.
That's what I was gonna say. We have to
get you the help.
I think the last time we had the 800 number, I was like, get the people to 800 number, honey. What's the number, honey?
So the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, the phone number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-8255. Call the number if you need to call the number.
Yeah, or reach out to somebody. And
reach
listen.
out to somebody.
And even we said reach out to us here and connect up. If you're scared to call that number, reach out to us here and connect up. One of us is usually on the website or on some kind of platform that we can help you. I know Gabrielle know people that's in the field. I know Sheila know people that's in the field. I know Latrice know people that's in the field. I know people that's in the field. We will get you to the help that you need. If you don't feel comfortable, call the 1-800. we are located on every platform you can find us, connect up, reach out to us. We are here for
Yes,
you.
and understand we are not the therapists.
No,
because
we said we're gonna get you to the help. We're gonna get you to the help. That's what I said. We're gonna get you to the help that you need.
I get the calls where they think I'm the help, and I have to quickly. You have to look here. Don't be trying to be something you're not, because people's lives are in the balance. And that go with everything that we do. Don't be trying to be what you're not, because people's lives are in the balance. So that you're not, people are dying because you're not getting them where they need to
That's
be.
why I said we'll get you to the help that you need.
So
we will usher you to the help. Like, did you hear? I said we all know people that can get you to the help that you need. But we just want you to know that if you don't feel comfortable calling that
You
number,
can call.
You can call us on any one of our platforms. Email us on our
inbox
platform.
us. Anything you need to do that we're willing to help, and that's where my heart is.
Mine too.
You know, for the
we can't
people.
help you personally, then we'll give you the resources.
Yes.
Because sometimes God uses us to connect you up.
Yes.
That's why I say connect it up.
Yes,
Yeah.
like you said,
We'll give you the resource so that you're able to find a place, find a person who can talk to you and speak your language, and that you're comfortable with. Because you may be comfortable with a Faye, with Teresa, Sheila, or Gabrielle, or not. The important thing I think to us is that you get to somebody who can help you to move from that place of suicide and negative thoughts and feeling like life is not,
worth living.
Just hopeless.
And this is the one I hear a lot. Life will be better it'll be better for everybody else if I'm not here. If those are the thoughts you're having, you need to talk to somebody.
And those are people that feel worthless. You know, like they're not contributing and nobody cares. And I would say that is for them, but I would also say, for others that are listening, even if you're not having those thoughts, but you know somebody that may be, or they're throwing out the signs, or you see something is not the way it normally is, do not, please, for whatever you do, don't ignore the signs, or don't begin to say, they don't even really mean it. They would never, because you never know the thought process of a person.
And the one time that you think that they won't do it, they'll do it.
And so think that because they're the strong person.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it.
Just because you see them in movement, because you see them in motion, it doesn't mean that they're not hurting. It doesn't mean that they're not having those thoughts. There's so many people who are walking, and they are literally like the walking dead.
Right.
They're walking, you see them preaching, you see them teaching, you see them running businesses, you see them running families, but on the inside,
they're dying.
They're dead. On the inside, they feel like there's nothing left for them. On the inside, they're like, you know what? I could just take and leave this today.
Right.
I can not wake up tomorrow.
Right.
So don't think that because you see them, because we see people in the place that they're in, and sometimes there's so much more behind that. And
than what you,
yes. To be able to at least encourage them or direct them to where they need to be, because we see them as strong, we see them as in motion.
So with that being said, like all of us have said up here, make the connection if you have to with somebody to assist you. Those of us that are just on the watch, pay attention to any signs that may be presenting themselves, so you can know what's going on with those around you, and just have a heart for people, and pay attention to what's going on and care, and you pick up on stuff that you never thought you would pick up on. So with that being said, I think for us, we just want you guys to know that we love you, and we are really looking for the best for each and every person that we talk to or come in contact with, and we want to connect with you, but also in connecting with you, that you begin to share with others what you may get from us, and so that it begins to spread itself, because there's no way on earth we could reach everybody that could be reached, and so you become that other person for us and for them. And so with that being said, we love you guys. Glad that you came out to share with us again. I don't think we have anything to
we do.
Okay,
today we are showcasing our cups. Everybody look at the nice little cups we have, and so these are our very own Konnect Up cups that we will be selling for $12. And on the back of mine, as you see the little nightly, it says "Phenomenal Women."
Yeah.
And then, of course, our person down there, Gabrielle, what did it say, girl?
It say keeping it moving. And so today, I'm not even talking about all this stuff that's going on today, but this to me was like, all of us need this mug right here today. Okay? So mine just says keep it moving and got one,
Okay, Sheila.
And mine says, it's amazing, but it says you are always trying. If you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. So be amazing today.
All right, Latrice.
And my cup says exactly how I feel today. Fearless. Because sometimes I have to encourage myself, and you know what? This is it for me.
That's it
There
today.
is no fear that should hold you back in wherever you are, including the fear of calling 1-800-Suicide Hotline.
Yes.
So we have all these great mugs that $12 a piece, and you've got phenomenal women, fearless, keep it moving, amazing, trust in the Lord, sister talk, sister friend, phenomenal woman speaks, total praises, crown and curls, wake up and dress up. And that just goes with all of us here. We take every last one of them mugs and they apply them to us. And so we want to give them and share them with you. So if you want to reach out and get a mug, you can, I say, reach out to us on any of our platforms and we can get those mugs to you. Again,
Yes,
they're $12 and they going for a good cause to keep us on the air, to keep us moving toward the things of God that we're doing and the things that we want to do to be able to help all of the great women everywhere.
Right. So again, we love you guys. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gabrielle Gabby. That's me.
And I'm Sheila.
And I'm Latrice.
And I'm LaFay, and thank you for joining Konnect Up.
Anybody have a question, a comment?
No, I've enjoyed everything today about suicide and the weight because I've been there. And it hadn't been long that I wanted to commit suicide myself.
Oh my God.
And I don't even know why. I just felt that I don't even need to be here because I had been through so much. So I called my daughter out in California. And I told her that I was just going to end my life because I just couldn't take it anymore. And then I called her a second time, told her the same thing. And a third time. And she got on me and she really scored me. She said, Mama, you got so much to live for.
Yeah.
She said, I don't know what weight you carry or what you think that you got going on. She said, but you got a lot to live for. And she scored me so bad that I just had to perk up. Sometimes I still feel like, because I went to a friend, I had this prayer line for like a year and a half. And one of the girls passed on there. And they wanted me to come and say something, remarks on her, about her. So I'm the one that introduced her to God and brought her on the prayer line and everything. And when I got there, I went up to the casket and it was so peaceful. The anointing was there. I felt like I was in a great place. And I felt like this is where I want to go. But I heard her snap back, and thought about what my daughter said and thought about what the word says to me, speaks to me. And I do feel like today that I have a lot to live for.
Amen.
And with that, I heard saying that us learning to be patient with others around us, even if something seems to be out of our scope. Because you don't call me 3 times, you know what I mean? But you don't call me 3 times, you know what I'm saying? But taking that time, because again, you never know what state of mind a person really is in.
Yes.
And so, even with us being up here today and listening to her, or different ones may have something to say, we have to be patient in our listening as well.
Yes.
Because we don't know
What someone going through.
We don't know. And so I may be in a hurry to go get some cake or something. I don't know anything. But at the end of the day, what's more important to me is making sure she's here.
Yeah.
And that she knows we love her.
Yes.
And now she's part of what we're doing.
Yes.
And God still has purpose for her.
Yes.
So you have to take time to come out of your comfort zone sometime. And I just feel like I need to say that.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Y'all said, I think my wanting to leave here. And y'all, PT will tell y'all, I worry. Something happened a couple of years ago, and it took the person that did it. I was like, not him. I betted on you.
Yeah.
The other one, it would have been okay.
Yeah.
But I begged on you. And I said, and I was like, you know what, God? When I do something, you come and get me right away. And I kept saying, you know what, I don't care no more. You let that one get me. What did I do? And I just wanted to leave. And the thing that helped me was PT was like, how you know what God doing with him?
Come on.
And I'm like, I had to finally I had to let it sink in. It's not on my time. It's not because I want to see him get what he deserves.
Right.
Girl, I'm trying to live your life.
Yes.
And stop worrying about, well, God, when you going to give him for that? If you don't, because I was so
Broken in
yeah, I couldn't. And God has put me in a season where finances are decent.
Okay.
And I'm living decent. But I'm like, God, I just can't believe you let that child. This was the golden child. And he didn't come in small and he hit hard. And I'm like, God, I'm done. But through calling her, bothering her, I'm like, I'm just angry. I can't let this go.
It wounded you real. That cut is real deep. It's still healing from the inside out. But God said, you got to know that you are not the choices that he made. And I speak that to you not only because I hear the Lord, but from experience as well, because our children will take us out.
If you let them, but
If we let them.
but you're in a good place now.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, thank you, Jesus.
Because
And,
the
you know,
place
and-
you were in,
yeah.
I know where you were, and so the place you're in now, compared to that place, is a good place.
And I'm gonna speak on that too. You know, we raise our children, and you never think they would do some of the things that they do. And right now, as we speak, I have a daughter that is out there. She's saying all kinds of matter of things, doing all kinds of matter of things, and I was gonna let it define me. And it hurts. Don't get it wrong. Even talking about it now,
Right.
it hurts.
Right.
Cause that's your child.
Cause that's your baby.
That's your child. But it's a weight. And if you let that weight sit on you, like I did, I remember when Gabrielle approached me and we was talking about even starting the show. I said, I can't do that. I said, my life ragged. I said, my child out there doing what she want to do, done ran off with another person and done fussed my mama out, me out, all of us out, and told me she didn't want her to do nothing. She even called me by my first name, LaFaye. Don't even call me mama no more. LaFaye. And so I was crushed. I had bought this child a car. I was paying her car insurance, doing all this stuff for her. Because like you said, she was the one that I thought was the good one.
Right.
But it showed me something else. Them ones that I thought was the hoodlums, them been the ones that been coming along through saying, Mama, we got you. Mama, we love you. Mama, we call me every other day, Mama, I love you. Mama, you the one. Mama, you taught us everything. Mama, you don't have to be ashamed of what she doing. Mama, you can't make up for what she doing. Mama, we know how we were raised. Let her lie. We know we can tell the truth. It taught me this. Don't put all your eggs on, like you said, that golden child. Because see, God will make the very one you think gonna do something for you turn their back and walk away and act like they never know.
They never knew you.
And so in that, them ones that I thought wouldn't be there have stuck by me. Have been there. And I tell you what, I let go of that weight.
You got to.
And you know what? Like she said, you living in a good place. When I tell you, when I let go of that weight, God began to open up doors and things began to happen. So I'm telling you, yes, it hurts because that's your child.
That's your baby.
That's your baby. But honey, like Gabrielle done told us, and me and her talk about all the time, it's not on you now. They grown. It's on them. You keep being the praying mama that you are and stay where you at. God will do the rest. He'll fix that thing.
He'll fix it.
Gabrielle taught me that because I was gonna carry, I was gonna go hunt her down, I was gonna go pick up, I was gonna make her come on. She told me, she said, say that girl grown. Say she grown, let her do what she gonna do. You done did your part.
Right.
And if I had listened to her a long time ago, when my kids called, I run.
She would tell me, girl, you here? What? To my kids, I gotta go. I gotta be there for them. And what I'm gonna say is the one that I thought would do it. Oh my God, I'm looking at her like, who are you? Where are you coming from?
I'm trying to tell you, it'll make you think that.
Expected you to be the one.
Mm-hmm.
But the promise, the golden child, he like, I did it. What you gonna do about it? You too old to enjoy money anyway, so I just took it. You know, versus the other one's like, Mama, I'm me.
I'm me. Don't try to change me. Yeah.
At least be in my, because I cut off both of them out, and I just can't anymore.
You're in a good, I'm gonna say again, you're in a good place.
Yeah.
And you're working your way
Out of it.
And I think that's the season, this is the season for it.
To let go of that
Let
weight.
go of that weight like we were talking about, so you can move forward, because that's what we have to do. It's so easy for us to allow our kids to be weights
Mm-hmm.
and to take on the burden of that. But one thing I promised long years ago, that I would not do that. So when my turn came to do that, I did not do that. But I've been talking to myself about this for years, because I saw my mama do it. I saw my grandmama do it. I saw a great grandparent, they did that, took on the burdens and the weights of their youth, even into their old age, into their grave. I promised myself that I would not do that. Once they get of a certain age, you're still a parent, but you parent them differently.
Yes.
And you have to learn how to do that, or else they will take you down with them. And you got to be able to say they're adults, and now they get to make their own choices. And so that's a weight, because your kids, baby, they're your babies, you know. And so sometimes I feel myself that it's like to everybody else, I'm heartless, but I have promised myself that I would not get in these years and live my life based on their life. No.
Based on their decisions.
And their decisions, and now they get to make their own decisions. And I can't tell you the calls I've gotten about kids, grown kids. But it can be a weight, and it can be heavy, because we love them unconditionally. But we have to let them have their place. And the one thing that, came to me with my situation that occurred was that, real quick, I know as Christians to say, oh, he coming after me, it's against me. No, my child is in a fight for his life. I'm praying now for him. That ain't my fight, baby. We talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
One example that God gave me was that even if your kids stay in a boxing match and they're in the ring fighting, the opponent after them, he ain't after you.
Right.
You on the sideline
Cheering them on.
That's not hoping to get them through this battle. He ain't after you. We think every time something happens to somebody around us, that the enemy after us. He ain't after you about every single thing. Now is your time to be able to pray, believe God for what He told you, and keep it moving.
That's right.
And so quit owning and taking on everything. That's against me. It came against them.
Yes.
And now you took it on.
You got a different role now.
You got a different role now. And I'm not tired of hearing it. And doing that. And so we have to learn to let them, they get to make their own choices now. Like we made ours.
Yes, we did. And we enjoyed it when we did it.
And we still made our way back to the law. And I believe they will too.
I believe so.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I was a single parent. Sean and I have been knowing each other. She's like a sister to me. I call her Sean. Y'all know for a fact. We've been road dogs, if you will, for about 25 years. She saw me raise my daughter as a single parent. Her kids were babies. After I went through 2 battles of suicide, as a single parent, because that weight was on me that I can't do this. When I came through it, my daughter at the time she turned 18 years old. Never had a problem with my child. At the time she turned 18 years old, became very defiant and left home. Sean called me, my mom called me. Both of them said, "Can't leave that girl out there." I said, "What do you want me to do?" She's 18. She grown. In the eyes of the law back then, it was 18, not 21. I said, "I'm not going to get her." She said, "You got to go get this girl and bring her home." I said, "No. I didn't put her out. She made a decision to leave." I said, "If I go get her, she going to turn around and leave again." Even my mother said, "What are you doing? You can't leave this child like that." I said, "I didn't put her out. She made a decision to leave." I'm a PK. My father's a pastor. My mother the first lady. So they both looking at me like, "We ain't put you out, what you doing?" I said, "Again, did not put this child out. Y'all need to understand what's going on." Sean didn't understand where I stood on that. I said, before I go and get her, I said, now my door is open always. I said, but she's going to come back correct. My daughter did the same thing. You called me Ninda. Know what you're not going to do, baby. It's called me by my first name. I earned the right to be respected as your mother.
Right.
And you're going to respect me as such. So you step like on this side of the throne. You don't go by my rules. At that point, what helped me was I had to, as you talked about releasing that weight, he said, cast your cares on me. What we have a problem as doing, we cast them, but then we bring them back. You got to learn how to cast and let go. That weight was way too heavy for me to carry, for me to resolve. That was, as you said a few minutes ago, Satan was after her. That was her fight. She needed to, at that point in time, to decide, because she came up so sheltered in the church. She needed to decide what direction she's going to go in. That's only a decision that she could have made. I didn't make that decision for her. That's right. So what I'm saying to you, to parents, period. We feel that these attacks are for us. It's not about us. It ain't even for us. I asked God, I said, Lord, what in the world did I do?
That was my question.
I'm like, what did I do? And God responded to me so quick. There are some times when I have to wait for an answer, but I promise you that answer came so quick, I'm scared. He said, it ain't about you. I'm the mama. What do you mean it ain't about me? He said it again, it's not about you. Sometimes God would take us through stuff for us to be a light to somebody else that's going through the same thing. If I've never gone through it, I could never talk to another person about it. And that's the way that as I started to go through different things in life, going through crazy relationships, abusive relationships, that you'd be like, what did I do to deserve it? And again, it comes again. It ain't about you. And as soon as it happens, God always put somebody in my past that needs a positive word based on the same thing that he just brought me through.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, what we have to learn to do, that little powerful word that we know called prayer, even though they got to make their own decision, all I did every single Sunday, I said, Lord, you told me to cast my cares on you. Cast my cares on you. I cried, I fasted, I laid before God. I cried, I fasted, I laid before God. But I never picked it back up.
Right.
I just kept crying before God.
Right.
Today, Sean, to tell you, today that child is the leader of the praise team. That child has her 2 businesses. She does her own makeup, her own eyelash business. She's a teacher at a middle school. But it's all because I didn't pick up that weight no more, and I allowed God to deal with her the way He needed to deal with her. But if I kept picking up that weight, then I kept being in the way. So I just say I thank God for you ladies. You've touched today on some very touchy subjects that need to be talked about. I wish our young people would learn to be encouraging to each other. You know, this Facebook, I'm not on any social media whatsoever, me or my husband. We're not on any social media out there. Because I always felt that the airways is the enemies. He controls the airways. And these young people, they don't have the platform that they need to talk to people. They keep talking to their peers. Well, you can't talk to somebody that's in the same circle that you're in. Learn how to, if you see something, say something. And a lot of people that's talking about suicide is a cry for help.
Yes.
There's something going wrong. So when your friends keep saying to you, I'm just going to commit suicide, I'm just going to commit suicide, don't take that so lightly. That means that something is going wrong. They're crying out for help. And if you can't help them, then please go and tell somebody so that they can go and talk to that person.
Amen.
So I thank God for you all.
I think that's important too, like we said before, we're gonna wrap this up, is that, understanding that, you know, our kids, and it's not us. We always want, oh, it's about me. No, it ain't about you.
It's about them.
And like I said,
It's about them.
when it was given to me, the example was the boxing match where they getting beaten, banged across the head.
You can just cheer them on.
Bust, banged out across the guy saying to me, you sit right there and pray. That's all you can do.
And cheer them on.
And if you,
And cheer them on.
and you
That's the
cheer
prayer.
them on and come, come up in the wind. Because if you are saying it's about you and praying for you, you're out of position. Like,
Right.
the prayer's not going
And the child just getting steady beat up.
Getting beat up and killed because you worried about
You.
you. Come on, let's grow up.
Yes.
Name it for what it is. It's not about me.
That's a whole word right there.
Yeah.
It
Let's
ain't
grow
about
up.
me.
Yeah.
We got to.
Yes.
So I'm just, like I said again, I'm honored. I love these topics because I take
Yes.
it to heart. This is how
I do
live my
too.
life. And this is, I just love being open and honest and moving forward. I think that's the only way to do it. I refuse to live a facade. I refuse to pretend
Yes.
that there's anything that's not. It just ain't my cup of tea. What you see is what you get, is what it is, and that's the way I like it.
Yep.
That's freedom.
That's freedom.
And that's what I like. So again, you got something to close out?
Yes. Again, we say the Suicide Hotline is open. Treese, give us that number again. And also, we told you could always connect with us on any platform on Konnect Up. If you're scared to call or don't want to call by yourself, we want you to know that we're here for you. We love you. We are constantly praying for you. We're not just saying it. And that we are a group of ladies. This ministry is for you. It's for everyone. It is not for the church. It is not for just the people that's in the church. It is for everyone.
Yeah.
And we're here to connect up with you. Treese, take us out with the Suicide Hotline.
All right, the National Suicide Hotline number is 1-800-273-8255.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you.
Until next time.
Connect up.